And welcome back to Little Squid League 47. We're now in the top two teams of this tournament. It's going to be Starz the Impact going against Krill Switch. And because we want to see as many games as we can, we've decided to make it a best of 7. It's going to go the long way. Both teams are going to need to show what they can do on as many different map modes as they can. We will start on very much a classic Splat Zones on Mahi-Mahi Resort, NATO.
Yeah, Splat Zone's Mahi-Mahi, the typical tiny map that gets a whole lot bigger once someone's got a lead. But today we're seeing the final two teams all the way down from 49 to 2. Both of these teams just came off of sweeping their semifinals matches, taking it from their opponents 3-0. I think we're going to see a really, really good set of matches between Starz the Impact and Krill Switch here. Krill Switch we just saw using a lot of weapon diversity, using stuff like the Luna Blast, the 52 gal deco to really put the pain down on their opponents, and we'll see how well they match up against Starz the Impact here in the finals.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that both teams had a very different story in their tournament. Krill Switch, they only dropped a single game in this whole tournament. Meanwhile, Starz the Impact, they dropped 4. Most of their sets have been close. They had to fight to get here. They had to go through a lot of adversity, and so we'll see really if the battle scars are worth something on the side of Starz the Impact.
Yeah, I think that sort of adversity makes you stronger. But to your point, Pat, Starz the Impact almost was knocked out of this tournament in the 8th and the quarters of Diamond Bracket, with going a 2-1 situation against Loud Noises and X-Name, respectively. But you know, Pat, they did knock out the number 1 seed, X-Name, in the quarters of this tournament, and they went on from there to 3-0 their opponents, address the Gators in the semis. I think we're going to see some powerful play coming out from a team that has had to adapt, whereas on the side of Krill Switch, to your point, really only dropping 1 game all day, which is just crazy if you think about it. I think they're coming off from a side of power. They know we've dealt with a lot of teams very, very quickly, and now we just have to adapt to do one more team starting here on Splat Zone's Mahi.
I mean, we've seen Krill Switch play. They like to take control. They like to be really holding the map and making sure that there's no random thing that you can do that can push them away. So Starz the Impact, they've seen a lot of things on the battlefield now. Can they find the thing that pushes Krill Switch out of the zone and allows them to take control? We'll see very soon.
Yes, we will. And just coming off of our semifinals match, seeing the ongoing aggression of Krill Switch, their ability to get behind the opponent, to put them in uncomfortable situations, to always sort of find picks in situations where it looks like the picks aren't happening. It'll be really curious to see what sort of comp they come out with here to fight against this team. And already from the side of Krill the Impact, it looks like, is that a range blaster coming out from one side? And is that an arrow spray coming out from Meat Boy? What is this, Pat?
So that's not a range blaster, that's a blaster from Starz the Impact. But yes, it's an arrow spray. We'll see a bunch of paint on the ground, and a lot of Reef Slider will come to cheese the zone, I guess.
You know, in the last set, we saw Meat Boy, the player of that arrow spray, go Luna Blaster. We were already commenting that, hey, this is sort of an unusual pick. We don't see a lot of Luna, and already we see an attempted shutdown. You know, it's not going to go as well if you can't get it out. And already we see Starz the Impact getting Krill Switch sort of on the back foot here. Now it's Starz the Impact who's kind of in their spawn, although if the Crab Tank has anything to say about that, 3 down already on the side of Starz Z, and a wipeout for good measure.
Yeah, Krill Switch taking control now. This is Krill Switch as we've seen, who are in control of the zone, who are in control of mid, and we're not letting any mistake go through, but it doesn't matter. Starz the Impact, they come back incredibly strong, and with 2 players down onto Krill Switch, Starz the Impact on top of the zone. And the water still hasn't dropped, NATO.
Yeah, these teams have already traded so many times. It's almost a minute. Finally, we're getting to the water drop as Starz the Impact is taking a little bit of a lead here with one down on the side of Krill Switch. They won't have any Reef Slider for the zone for a minute here. It looks like Starz the Impact is setting themselves up in pretty good situations. I think this is kind of an uncomfortable position for Krill Switch, who aren't used to being pushed back this far, although there's the Reef Slider, there's the cap, and this is Krill Switch's time to get 3 down on the side of Starz.
Yep, Krill Switch. I mean, they need to get the comeback onto the zone, but they know the deal. They've done that in the semi-finals, and right now they have very, very nice control. Starz the Impact needing to prepare a push, but they lose 2 players, NATO.
Oh, that's not good. They do have the splashdown for that zone, and a very well-placed bomb is going to take out one, and a second one comes out as well. It looks like that Reef Slider is not going to find value as the bucket player from Starz the Impact just barely ducks behind cover in time, sets themselves up here. They want to scrap here, Pat. They're not going to back up and try to take any, passive control of the zone. They're going to try to get forward on Krill Switch and get more points.
It's not stopping. Starz the Impact very much wanting to get more, as he said, but Krill Switch, they can always bring back the zone, at least with the Reef Slider, with the arrow spray, and right now Starz the Impact are pushed away from the zone, trying to defend their presence on the map right now, but it's pretty rough.
I can't even figure out what's happening on the screen. There are so many picks going up and down. Finally, 2 down from the side of Krill Switch. Starz the Impact is pushing up. They have their cooler, and they have this last player on the zone kind of in a bad spot. They're going for a team fight here, but one is down on the side of Starz the Impact, and now it's an arrow spray versus bucket fight. Bucket comes out on top. 2 down again on the side of Krill Switch. I think they're going to be going for some more points here.
Yeah, and right now we have 2 more players down. Krill Switch is still struggling to push back at Starz the Impact. Out of penalty, pretty much. About to score even more points.
Indeed, Reef Slider is ready. No other specials online for the side of Krill Switch. Never mind, here's the crab. There goes the Slider. Finds 2! That is an unbelievable series of picks. It looks like a third is going to fall here. 3 down again on the side of Starz the Impact. Krill Switch, they might not have the lead here, but they have had some insanely good retakes here, Pat. They're going to have to hold on for not much longer. They don't have super high penalty, but with 2 already going down, make that 3 going down the side of Starz the Impact. I don't think they're going to get the lead anytime soon.
Yeah, it's going to be very rough right there. We have the map back in yellow, and with less than a minute left in the game, Krill Switch, they need to get a big push. They need to get Starz the Impact away from mid.
Indeed, so many times we've seen Krill Switch, they get their Reef Slider, they get 1 or 2 other specials, and they cap the zone. They cap it quickly, and we're probably going to see it again. Actually, maybe not with Reef Slider. What? What is going on? Krill Switch manages to get 3 down right before the words can even come out of my mouth. Starz the Impact now painting the zone. It looks like they're gonna just scrap for control. Krill Switch not giving up control of the zone. They do have an arrow spray, but with only 9 seconds left, they have to get the cap here, Pat.
I mean, they got the cap, but they didn't get the players away from the zone. That heavy at it is still there to paint, but Julies are going to them, unable to get it, but it's too late. The zone is painted. Starz Impact. Yeah.
That was one of the most chaotic. I mean, it's Mahi zones. It's gonna be chaotic, right? But that remained chaotic even though the map doubled in size after the first minute and a half, right? Like that was just an insane series of, we saw 3 down on Krill Switch, and I was like, we're gonna see a huge push here. Then suddenly there's 3 down on the side of Starz the Impact, and I thought to myself, we're gonna see a huge push here. And ultimately, in the end, it was Starz the Impact who came out with the lead, but had things gone a little bit differently at the end, to your point, if they had just gotten a couple more players pushed away from the zone, that could have totally been Krill Switch's game to win there.
I love a good game like that where both teams really want to get forward, really want to get into every fight. And in the end, Starz the Impact were able to hold control of the zone a bit better during all of these fights. But these fights were what decided the game. They were what pacing things, and both of these teams are constantly knowing that you need to get into the fight, you need to contest the fight, you need to make sure that the other team cannot rest, cannot occupy a position, and are constantly contesting everything, whether with a bomb, whether with a special. There's always a fight happening. And in the end, Stars Impact were able to get game number 1, but as you said, that was very, very close.
Yes, it was. You're talking about controlling of positions, and over again in that game I saw first Krill switch, then Starz Impact just try to collapse on the critical positions that they saw their opponents moving into. It was the snipe area where you want to get your opponent out of. It was the blocks on the left and right hand side, and I think it's that control of positions that Krill switch is thinking of as they make their counter pick here. Something like Clam Blitz on MakoMart, where they know, hey, we need to control top left here, we need to control the area under the basket, we need to control the stacks. I think that this is a smart counter pick, particularly if they decide to bring that Luna Blaster back out, Pat.
Hey, that Luna Blaster could very much do a lot. And going on to Clam Blitz on Mako, we haven't watched the Clam Blitz game yet because some team was so hell-bent on playing zones.
Yep, no Clam Blitz yet. We have seen a MakoMart playthrough, although it was on tower control, and Clam Blitz plays a little bit differently because of the way that the tower moves. You have to control the area beneath the drop and such. It's just very regimented. For something like Clam Blitz, I think we're going to see a lot of power of flank coming in here. Like, I think Krill Switch knows that to get to the positions that they want to, they like to do the flanks. They're not afraid to do that. They're not afraid to jump into the action. And I think we're going to see some of the picks coming out from both sides to either play to that or counter that. Again, from the side of Starz, the impact is looking like that blaster is making a return, and that is a sploosh coming out from the side of Krill Switch. We were talking about maybe we're going to see Luna Blaster come out again. It's good on the stacks. Nope, sploosh. Let's see how this does.
Here's the thing, NATO. A sploosh with a curling bomb allows you to go around and pick up clams incredibly fast. And on this map, picking clams fast can pay off.
Speaking of it, yes, on this already, as soon as the game started, you talk about it, we see Meat Boy running down on the left-hand side, getting 8 clams, already scoring, and 65 points is pretty good, Pat, and it looks like it's going to be more. Krill Switch has already pushed this down almost to 50. I'm very impressed with what they put together here.
That's the power of this map, of picking clams fast, because you're always under the basket. This map is so small, you are always under the basket. So if you have clam, if you're able to grab clams fast, all you need to do is get there, get that position, and it takes one move. And look at the answer by Starz Impact. They open the basket, but they lose 2 players in the process. It's going to be rough for them to get the lead. Yeah, they won't be able to get anything else. And Krill Switch right now are showing why they counterpick this map. They know exactly what to do, NATO.
Look at how fast Krill Switch is moving, Pat. The basket wasn't even closed on the side of Starz Impact, and already Meat Boy on the sploosh here was going up and scrapping 2 down, already 3 down on the side of Starz Impact. This is going to be an absolutely massive push, and don't forget, they got a free power clam from Starz Impact from that first push. Thankfully for them, it looks like it's been snuffed out because Meat Boy has been taken down behind. Although it's a jump, almost just barely far enough away from the basket, Pat. I didn't see that jump come in. I thought that Meat Boy had been taken down just a little bit before they got it off, and now it Starz Impact's time to try to make a counter push.
What a push by Krill Switch. Starz Impact able to get good points actually, but they get wiped in the process. I mean, they got wiped, and we know exactly what's about to happen, NATO.
Oh, yes.
Another opening of the basket.
Meat Boy is not going to stop before they get anything in. They only need 3 more. They have 2 of them. They need to get a single clam in. I don't know if anyone is close enough to the basket. If it's going to be anyone, it's going to be that sploosh running up the right-hand side here, Pat, and they are going to end the game right there.
Fastest weapon in the game. This is why you pick the sploosh for clams on this map. The curlings plus the acceleration of that weapon are insane.
I feel like so short-sighted for assuming that they were going to go Luna Blaster on that map because we saw it before. Of course they're going to go Sploosh, and of course they're going to decisively knock out the game. You know, I think they caught Starz Impact a little bit off guard there, because when the Sploosh comes out, you're like, yeah, they're going to try to play fast, but that must have been within the first like 20 seconds of the match. Meat Boy had made a power clam, scored it, and they had pushed down to like 60 almost before we could blink. And then we almost saw a knockout when Meat Boy got behind them and they jumped in that pity clam. I mean, it didn't matter in the end because they knocked out anyway, but like they were playing so quickly there, Pat. It almost like it didn't matter what Starz Impact did. Krill Swish was just like, we're going to knock out one way or another. And pretty quickly, we see the counter pick coming in. TC Inkblot Art Academy. If this isn't the most classic of counter picks, I don't know what is.
It's the Inkblot, and I mean, it's the tower control map that we always play. And this time, NATO, I think we can hope to see the Luna Blaster coming because it's tower.
Yeah, but, agreed. We might see a Battle of the Blasters here. So far, twice we've seen Starz Impact pick a blaster on both zones and Clam Blitz, and we saw them use it to really good effect. You know, I initially was like, oh, that's a range blaster. Your point, no, that's just a normal blaster. They were playing the custom variant with Splashdown on the first match. I think any of those blasters could be a pretty good pick on TC, where clearing that first checkpoint requires you to push players far enough off of their plat or put up a bubble or some sort of special or something to which they can't force you off. So I think that Starz Impact knows what to do in this particular case. They know, hey, we're strong here. Hey, here's the blaster. It's coming out. Let's see what. And there's the Luna Blaster. To your point, Battle of the Blasters is on, Pat.
Let's go. I mean, both of these teams bring pretty much the same strategies, the same comp of going for the fight with mid-range and short-range fighting options. And right now, we see really the same philosophies, and it's all about who can do it better. Right now, both teams are simply getting so many splats left and right, but it looks like Krill Swish are on top.
Yeah, it looks like, man, it's hard to tell. I think Krill Swish just barely got the 3 situation there. They were able to take out their opponent's edit, and in doing so have set themselves up pretty well here. That's an excellent pick from the side of the edit on the side of Krill Swish there. That'll give them a little bit more space to move up here. One down on the side of Krill Swish, although they do have a special ready. I think this might be the end of this push. Yep. Starz Impact has collapsed. You know, the crab is out. Can't get a whole lot of value from down here. It's time for Starz Impact to move back in the mid. No? Was that Meat Boy again up in the bats getting 1 or 2? Yet again? What are we seeing?
Hey, the power of one aggro player that's punishing you for getting back in there a bit too fast. Starz Impact still able to defend that spot. They lost the checkpoint, but they're able to get the tower back into mid at least.
Yep, you know, Starz Impact, I think, maybe like me, expected that push to die a little bit earlier, and they do have 3 down. Speaking of aggressive players, Gal here on the side fighting Krill Swish. You know, Krill Swish's edit player has gotten multiple critical picks in the first minute and a half of this match, already bringing Starz Impact down to only 1 player remaining. They're going to be forced to back up here, and they might actually go down. Yes, they do, as 2 actually are also cycled out on the side of Krill Swish. This might not be the end of the push for Starz Impact.
Yeah, and right now, Starz Impact still struggling to keep that tower at the first checkpoint. Really trying. Ooh! Not every time! They get to the checkpoint, and then Krill Swish answers.
You know, Krill Swish has just found a way to, as soon as the enemy gets a semblance of advantage, just collapse upon those players and somehow gets a pick or 2. Meat Boy, again, just putting so much pressure up here on the bats, getting 1, almost getting a second one, coming back to the tower, and 2 down on the side of Starz Impact again. Pat, they really just need to get mid-control, and maybe more importantly, they need to get this Luna Blaster out from underneath their drop here, because this is an excellent position for Luna as their position exerting so much pressure up here on Starz Impact's plat.
And Starz, they can't get back to mid because of that one Luna Blaster waiting for them. Which means Krill Swish gets more... Oh, wait!
Okay.
Okay, now they can get to mid, and now Starz are going to get the push.
Yes, we said they can't get here without the Luna Blaster. They did get the Luna Blaster down, which is good, but so far, Pat, they have not gotten past the first checkpoint, and this is going to be a major push from them to get by here. They lose one player, which isn't good. Someone's in mid. They might be able just to barely clear this check here, but no, going 2 down is not going to be enough. And Meat Boy, the thorn in the flesh of Starz the Impact, is just barely taken out, but they're going to need another pick or 2 before they can clear this check.
Yeah, Starz Impact are back on the attack. They really want to get that checkpoint that they have struggled with, but now it looks like they're going to get it. Now it's a matter of getting on top of that checkpoint, and the Gal is exactly where they need to be. 2 players down onto Krill Switch. This could be the opportunity for Starz Impact.
This is their chance. They need to take advantage of this here. Really good positioning from the Gal. They got to get rid of this splash. They do. Just a couple more points. They need to get 1 or 2 more picks. I don't know if it's going to be enough. And 3 down from the side of Starz the Impact translates into a wipeout. 4 points seem like a mountain to climb here, especially now that Krill Switch has entirety in control.
We're so close between these 2 teams. They are so close, but Krill Switch right there. They know that all they need to do is keep the action away from the tower for 30 seconds, and that's exactly what they're doing, trying to push away and getting the tower to the checkpoint that they're already broken. Starz Impact able to punish them, able to get the Splat. Now they need to mount a push, and they need to mount a big one, Kato.
Pat, they need to figure out how to prevent that Luna Blaster from getting close to the tower. Don't forget, they have Zipcaster, and that's not going to work if someone is flanking you from behind with only 3 seconds left. It just wasn't quite enough. We talked about this earlier. Krill Switch, they like to flank. They like to find those positions that give them the advantage. And it was just one player rushing up from behind the tower, catching Starz the Impact off guard, all of us off guard, yet again, and just conclusively taking that. To credit of Starz the Impact, they put together an excellent push there. They were within just a couple points of taking the lead, but ultimately it just wasn't enough. It was a total scrap, and they were not able to get enough control, enough advantage to take the lead there, Pat.
Yeah, Krill Switch taking the control, and in the end, that Julie is getting the one flank that absolutely destroys the tower and gives the 2-1 to Krill Switch, 1 now ahead. But it's still best of 7. There's still a lot to learn about these teams, of how they play against each other. And now it's on Starz Impact to counterpick again.
Yeah, so Starz the Impact, we saw win the first game. They lost their opponent's counterpick, Clam Blitz on Mako, against a crazy fast sploosh, but then they also narrowly lost a TC game on Inkblot, which was their own counterpick. And if they're not allowed to go back to zones, then that either leads them to pick 2 modes that they've lost on already, or the final mode, Rainmaker.
With the sploosh game that Krill Switch is doing us, I don't think they want to go to Rainmaker. And they're going to Clam Blitz.
Yeah,
they're going to Scorch Gorge.
I think they're going to pick a Clam Blitz map where it is more predictable, where it's a little bit more difficult. Look at, I have respect for your predictions. Clam Blitz.
It's not a prediction. It's not a prediction. I see it on Sendoing before.
Oh, do you? Oh, wow. You're a mile ahead of me. Clam Blitz, Scorch Gorge. It makes total sense in my mind, because you might have lost on Clams already, but at least on Scorch, that the opponent has to come from one of 2 positions, right? They're either rushing up the ramp, which you can defend using your blaster, or they're rushing across the grates, where it's probably a little easier to see than a sploosh just sharking around the stacks, right? So I actually think that this is a very intelligent counterpick coming out from the side of Starz the Impact, because it allows them to sort of control the pace of the game a little bit more, right? In this particular case, they know, hey, they have a good sploosh player who likes to flank, who likes to get in quickly. If we just can come up with the 2 positions we have to defend in order to prevent that from happening, then the game is already half solved.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think this is the nice This is the good Clam Blitz counter pick by Starz Impact, and this is the kind of choice that will allow them to at least counter what Krill Switch is doing. Now, countering what your opponent is doing is usually not enough. You also need to still be able to get in, to get forward. And we've kind of haven't seen Starz Impact really get forward, get in very much into enemy territory. And I'm waiting to see if they'll have the tools to do that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Starz Impact's play so far has been just try to use the power of the individual weapons themselves, right? Like we see the Gal doing a good job trying to get on the plat of their opponents back on that last TC game. We saw the Blaster do a great job using their splashdown to great effect. But I think if they can just pull a lot of those individual weapon, contributions together and put together a push on their opponents ramp here, then we're going to see great impact on the side of Starz Impact, and the sploosh does come back out again, but I think this time Starz Impact is going to be a little bit more prepared for it.
Yeah, that's probably the case. One thing to look for, though, is the Julies on the side of Krill Switch. Trap Tank on this map is a monster. It is so powerful, so is the suction on the wall.
Yes, it is. You're not really surviving a suction ball thrown directly against your wall, but already we see kind of a stall in mid here. We saw the sploosh immediately picking up a bunch of clams, weren't really able to translate anything with them quite yet. Couple of specials ready on the side of Krill Switch and one down on the side of Starz Impact. They're doing a good job holding mid here, but ultimately they're going to have to take out this hammer before going down, with Meat Boy again finding yet another pick using that hammer until finally going down to the Gal on the side of Starz Impact.
Yeah, and Starz Impact licking their wounds. Both teams kind of looking at each other again, but Krill Switch have a Super Clam, which means Starz Impact need to be a bit more prudent as they are trying to get back control.
Yeah, well, this is definitely not what we saw in the previous Clams game, with this Krill Switch just instantly scoring on the side of Starz Impact, where there's a lot more reserved play coming out. We see one down, and then an excellent splashdown on Starz Impact. I think they need to move on this one, Pat. I think they need to take advantage of this. If it's not a jump in from Krill Switch, I am eating my own words as Meat Boy yet again just finds value where there is none and gets down to 65.
Starz Impact were winning. They got a double, cancel the crab. It doesn't matter. At 65 for Krill Switch, but now Starz Impact are looking to get onto the basket, and they need a proper push to do so. They don't have a sploosh.
They absolutely do, although that is one pick, and we're going to see big value again coming out of this. There are a ton of clams on the side of Starz Impact, more than enough to take the lead. 3 down on the side of Krill Switch. Oh, this is Starz Impact's time to shine here. And moving back in, it looks like we're going to see this push probably die here, but thankfully Starz Impact did not give up a lot of control in mid. It actually turns out they're holding mid quite well, and Krill Switch is now in a pretty big, about 40-point deficit, and they're going to have to repeat what they saw earlier with Sploosh getting in, or come up with a more traditional push of their own.
Yeah, right now Krill Switch need to get back in this game. The Sploosh is dancing around, is only going to get a trade right there. Trades are not good if you're Krill Switch right now. They need control, they need a lot, and Starz Impact, thanks to the strikes, are going to simply slow them down, force them to wait later.
Yeah, they're being forced to wait, and furthermore, with one down on their side, they don't really have enough clams currently to put together a good push, and we see a lot of defensive pressure coming out from Starz Impact. They know, hey, we've already pushed over 75. If we can just hold our plat for long enough and also defend against this flank, as they just did, and take out this hammer, maybe we're going to be in good situation.
Krill Switch getting the jumps back in and deploying the crab tank in the best position you can get right there. But it doesn't matter, they don't have the clams. They can't score anything.
Not enough clam economy. We definitely saw the concept there, because the dualies doing what they do best, flanking behind, just weren't able to get a pick or two, and even the hammer on the side of the sploosh just couldn't get quite enough. Again, the flank is coming out. They need to be very aware of these dualies making the flank, although with 3 people collapsing on them, the dualies is not going to be able to put this back together. I think we're seeing, Stars the Impact sort of coming into their own here. They've made a massive push, and so far they've done an excellent job defending. They know that the flank is coming out every time, and they're able to punish it with a trade. I think that this is, even though it's a trade, this is benefiting Stars the Impact, who have a massive lead.
And Stars the Impact throwing the Clams off the map. They know that they only need to play the court, wait a little bit more, punish the flanks. That's exactly what we need to do. Stars the Impact playing Clam as we taking control of the economy, but Krill Switch.
Oh no.
Krill Switch with 2 Splats. Are they be able to get it? Yes, they're in. They're under the basket. They only need to get it to the Clam now.
Oh, the Clam economy is just there, and don't forget, they have that pity Clam from Stars the Impact's initial push, and there's one down as well. This is the last stand of Stars the Impact. They need to prevent Meat Boy from getting here. Oh no, and the hammer comes out. Where are the Clams? They're coming in from Jazz. They only need 2 more. The jump comes in, the pity approaches, and the lead has been swapped, Pat.
The lead is swapped, and right now Krill Switch, if they put one more Clam in the basket, okay. Right now there's time for one more push for Starzy, but it's going to be a rough one. They don't have much time, they need to run forward. They're under the basket already. They're getting the jumps. Oh! They didn't jump.
Oh, no, the jump. It just didn't come in. I don't know if there was someone was taken out. I don't know if there was a flank on the far side that just ended the jumper before they could get it off. But one way or another, Starzy Impacts, their massive lead just fell to bits there in the very end. We saw it, Pat. There were so many flank attacks. Krill Switch was sending their dualies, their sploosh up there, and then Starzy Impact punished it every single time except the last time, and it only takes once against a team like Krill Switch.
Yeah. One is all it takes. That's a 3-1 for Krill Switch, but it's best of 7, which means we still have more games to go. And the Stars Impact, without hesitating, are going back to tower control, this time on Shipshape Cargo Company.
Okay. Whew. So if you're Starzy Impact, you've come off a lot of adversity in this tournament, and you already have your backs up against the wall in the grand finals. You won the first match, but fallen the next 3 to 2 Clams and 1 tower, and I think at this point, you don't want to repick Rainmaker, to your point, Pat. They have a sploosh. What are you going to do? You know you've gotten really close in tower before. You know you have a very good blaster player who can take advantage of it. I think at this point you're going for the long, thin map where you can do your very best to watch for those flanks you know are going to come out of your opponent, and you're just going to hope you can build up a big enough lead.
Yeah, it's exactly as you said. Stars Impact, they have a blaster player that only plays blaster. They need to play to their strength, and I feel like, tower control, of all the games that we saw, the tower control game was just 4 points difference between the 2 teams. This is the games that Stars Impact needs to play on, because this is the game that they can make work.
Indeed, and I think if Stars Impact wants to pull this back here, then they need to be very careful, like they have been doing on that Clam Blitz game, of where Krill Switch is coming from. Because, again, if they can just prevent the flanks from coming over their grates, from coming through their pit, from coming over to their top left area even, they can defend. And we've already seen them do a good job defending. They just need to hold on a little bit further. Just get 1 or 2 more picks against their opponent's flanks, and they can pull this out for sure. And I think, honestly, Pat, I don't think we're going to see any changes, or small changes of anything, from either side. I think both sides kind of know what work here, and we see yet again, same comp out from the side of Starzy Impact. Krill Switch is going for, looks like they're pulling out a gal of their own. So no Luna Blaster here, interestingly. We do see that same blaster from JoJo on the side of Starzy Impact, like they've been playing this entire set, but no blaster from the side of Krill.
Yeah, and that blaster is opening with a Splat onto the gal. That's what you want if you start the impact. But the Krill Switch are answering as much as they can. Both teams getting a lot of Splats. It looks like Stars Impact are going to get control over mid. Now they need to advance that tower to the first checkpoint. That's a very long checkpoint. And with a crab tech on the other side, it's going to be rough.
Oh, it's going to be so rough. Already 2 picks, tons of value coming out from the side of that crab tank. 3 coming down and a wipeout. You know, Pat, they got so incredibly close to that checkpoint, but they paid for it using their entire team, and they're going to have to fight here if they want to prevent Krill Switch from pushing through the checkpoint of their own.
Well, they're fighting. It hits Krill Switch's turn to get to the checkpoint, and Starz Impact is answering every blow with attacks of their own. The tower is not staying on that checkpoint later.
No, it's not. You know, Starz Impact, they might have gotten wiped, but they were not put down by that. They responded very, very quickly to Krill Switch's push. They're already getting back to the first checkpoint of their own. They have the wall up. The blasters almost got the splashdown ready, and they get a pick. The flank comes out from behind, and yet again, it is Meat Boy. Who else would it be but Meat Boy? Thankfully, the first checkpoint finally falls for Starz Impact. That must be a relief.
Yeah, Starz Impact, they have more than the checkpoint, but still have a numbers advantage. They're looking to get in with Furies. Getting a double before falling down right there is huge. That's going to slow down Starz's push. It looks like Krill Switch are going to be able to breathe a little bit. That's a very nice first push by Starz Impact.
Yeah, excellent first push. Only 2 minutes have gone by so far, and I think Starz Impact with really, really good fall-off kill from Crater. That's the slosher on the side of Starz Impact. They're deciding, hey, we can't just sit back here and defend even though we have a lead. We need to be active against our opponents here, and already we see them pushing back up, getting 2 down on the side of Krill Switch. I really like what we're seeing out of the side of Starz Impact here.
Yeah, and right now, it's Starz Impact pushing again, being again on the attack and getting a lot of punishes. Thanks to that Slosher who's finding all the Splat. Huge moves right there.
This is fabulous gameplay from the side of the Slosher, and really all of Starz Impact. They're kind of in a pinch here as they're going multiple down. Thankfully, with Cooler and such, everyone is able to respawn pretty quick, and already Krill Switch is moving up quickly, but Meat Boy is being punished again by JoJo, who has just put in so much work here on the blaster this whole set. And again, 2 down on the side of Krill Switch. They just cannot get to their first checkpoint.
It's the new Starz Impact that's able to win every fight, that's able to retake control of the map. It's looking very nice for them. I see a huge flank coming by Krill Switch right there as they're getting... Oh no, the flank was pulled down, the flank was up. And right now with 3 players down, it looks like Starz Impact is going to get back control over mid. A minute and a half left in this game, NATO, and it looks like Starz Impact finally found how to beat Krill Switch.
They are finding their groove here. Pat, you know, to your point, there was a massive gal flank coming out, but this time they've been fighting it the whole set. They're like, hey, there is a flank coming out. We need to punish that or else we're going to be in huge trouble. And already Starz Impact, they have just been set up here the entire game. They have not permitted Krill Switch to get to their first check. And again, 2 down on the side of Krill Switch. Cooler out again. Starz Impact is going to punish this jump immediately. 2 down again on the side of Starz Impact. They are looking like almost a whole different team here, Pat.
They look like they're invincible right now. Not stopping, not making a mistake. I'm getting another push with 40 seconds left. Krill Switch are really struggling to do anything.
This is... this gameplay, the absolute scrap that's been occurring on the side of Starz Impact in their enemy's plat has been just astounding, because they have been able to find pick after pick, and sure, they might not have been growing their lead, but they've at least been holding on. And yet again, this gal player from the side of Starz Impact has been doing nothing but just finding value, finding more value. Are they gonna get 3 here? 1 member left. This is insane gameplay from the side of Starz Impact. It's nothing out that push before it even had the chance to get started. What a response from Starz Impact, Pat. What is this?
This is the turn of the finals. This is Starz Impact, who looked like they were washed, like they were over, like they were not able to push onto Krill Switch. And suddenly, not only were Starz Impact able to push, Krill Switch didn't do anything that game.
They couldn't even make it past their first check.
Yeah. Nothing worked for Krill Switch. So, I mean, it has to be one of Starz' favorite maps because it works so well for them. But now, can they translate what they learned? Can they use what they just did on Krill Switch's counterpick?
Yes. And folks, Starz the Impact will now have to win 2 matches on Krill Switch's counterpick in order to take this tournament. Just keep that in mind. And don't forget that Krill Switch has already won on Clam's Tower and Clam's again, and Rainmaker Undertow is the counterpick here, Pat. You know, we talked about splooshes earlier, and maybe Starz the Impact isn't going to want to counterpick Rainmaker against the sploosh. Here we go. This is the Rainmaker of all Rainmaker maps.
As you said, and no hesitation by Krill Switch. They instantly counterpicked. They knew exactly what they wanted to counterpick. They wanted to counterpick a map where you go fast and where you fight, and fight.
Yes, and Krill Switch is going to play to that. But Starz the Impact, I think they know to anticipate that now, because we saw in the previous match, every single time Krill Switch wanted the push-up, wanted to get a flank, Starz the Impact called out, hey, Gal is flanking here, Dooley's is flanking here. I think we're going to see similar behavior out of the side of Starz the Impact, but just the nature of the map mode is going to make it more difficult to control, right? Because unlike tower control, where the tower always moves at a fixed speed unless it's at a checkpoint, Rainmaker can essentially go as fast as you want, assuming you're not dying, right? And I think Krill Switch knows this inherently, and they know, hey, we just need one really good, really fast push here on Undertow, and that's going to be enough to take the tournament. And Starz the Impact is the one who's going to have to hold on. Was that what? No changes coming out from the side of Starz Z, and there's the Krill Switch sploosh. Hey. Let's see how this pans.
Whatever you do, do it fast. And here goes Krill Switch trump card, the sploosh. Oh!
Well,
in the pop
going so quickly to the side of Krill Switch, and Meat Boy already in the spawn of Starz the Impact. They need to snuff this out here. The Gal player coming out, thankfully, gets the pick on the Rainmaker. Starz the Impact just holds on there, but that could have been much, much, much worse, Pat.
What a huge save by the 52 Gal. Not letting that checkpoint be broken is huge for Starz the Impact. And now Krill Switch, I mean, they tried and they got an opening statement of, yeah, you beat us once. Don't get too cocky. We're still very much here to win this game, and they're not stopping. They're still in this fight. Splashdown is called out, not able to find much. Krill Switch maintaining the player's advantage. Probably, yeah, they're grabbing the Rainmaker again and are eyeing that right checkpoint this time.
You know, Krill Switch might not have been able to end the game in 45 seconds like they might have wanted to, but they still have really good control here in mid, Pat, with one down on each side. That is the sploosh on the side of Krill Switch falling down. Jazz here on the side of Krill Switch with the Rainmaker. They're being a little bit more careful, I'd say. Finally, left checkpoint is open, but it's just barely broken before it's able to be punished. And yet again, Meat Boy here, the only player alive. Thankfully, they know where they are, but they're not going to stop here. They're going to try to punish. Great play from Crater here, the bucket player on the side of Starz the Impact, to snuff out Meat Boy before they can make it any further in their spawn.
Yeah, nice dodge and nice save. Krill Switch got the checkpoint, and that's what they wanted off of that. They know that the next time they get a push, they can get incredibly fast, and there's nothing to stop them. Starz Impact now. They haven't gotten much yet, and here comes the hammer. Ooh!
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, that could have been very bad if that had gone differently. And already, you know, Starz the Impact doesn't have the Rainmaker in a great spot. You don't want it to be on your side of the map when you're fighting against an opponent who's already broken the checkpoint. But they're holding on. They haven't let Krill Switch run away with any more points than they've deserved here, to be honest. And already really good, you know, one single shot and then an attempt here coming out, but no, just the hammer from Meat Boy is just so much, ultimately getting punished by zap, by the Gal and the bucket here on the side of Starz the Impact, it looks like it's finally their turn to make a little bit of progress here.
Yeah, I mean, that hammer got a trade, but with a tacticular, Starz the Impact were able to get back in there. Now they re-grab the Rainmaker, and they're very close to that second checkpoint. It's painted, but there's another flank.
It's a flank from one or it's from the other. Starz the Impact not giving up here. They're able to get that flank down. They get the sploosh down again. Rainmaker in their possession, and that is a clear of a checkpoint. If they can get the pop here, this might just be a lead swap for the side of Starz the Impact. If I was them, I would at least get the lead here. Illumix is going to choose to pick up the Rainmaker. That will be a lead swap. Let's see if they push it.
Yep, right now it's a bit more, and Starz Impact is going to bring it to 26. That is huge. That's the end of that push, but with a minute and a half left. Now all the pressure is on Krill Switch to get forward and get the point.
Oh, Hammer again coming in from the side of Meat Boy is able to get one, but then gets taken out by another member on the side of Starz the Impact. Krill Switch kind of has the Rainmaker here in mid. They don't have enough map control up on the left elbow here to really make advantage, and with members of their own team kind of falling around them, Starz the Impact has now gotten 3 down on the side of Krill Switch. They're actually looking pretty as there's only 1 minute left in this match, Pat.
Yeah, Starz Impact painting around with less than a minute. They know that all they need to do is deny the next push by Krill Switch. Krill Switch preparing everything, taking a lot of control over mid. They want to collapse and then get the blinds, but the push already got pulled out. Krill Switch are in difficulty right now.
Yeah, they definitely are. You know, it seems like Sploosh just is not able to get the same amount of value like they did on that Clam Blitz match we last saw them on, when it just took 1 push, and it does just take 1 push on Rainmaker too. But don't forget, there are 2 down on the side of Krill Switch. They have basically 15 seconds left. They have to push now.
Ooh. Oh, and we have just 5 seconds left in the game. Starz Impact are simply dancing with the Rainmaker, trying to survive.
I have no words with how close that was. The Sploosh flanked on the far right-hand side. They had specials being chucked at them. Everyone from Krill Switch was in Starz the Impact spawn, trying to punish that Rainmaker, and they went down with probably frames separating them and losing that Rainmaker and starting overtime, Pat. But you know, they had just the right timing and took Krill Switch's counter pick off of them. Pat, we are going to a game 7.
By the skin of their teeth, Starz the Impact gets to the final game of this Little Squid League 47. What a show that these 2 teams are giving us, Nathan.
It's just absurd. And what a confidence boost for Starz the Impact, because they have won on Krill Switch's counterpick, right? Because they won the first game, Splat Zones, that was no one's counterpick. They won one of their counterpicks on TC Shipshape, and now they've finally, for the first time this tournament, beaten Krill Switch on one of their counterpicks. They just need to do it one more time, and they will snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. I think if you're Krill Switch, you've got to return to basics here and come up with a counter pick that you know you can play solidly on. I have no idea. The thing is, these 2 teams, they have very similar play styles of going in, of getting into fight. Krill Switch has to choose something that allows them to get more flanks, I feel, because this is what they want to do, and we're going to Manta Maria on Rainmaker. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, well, okay. So this is interesting because Krill Switch has won on Clam Blitz. Yeah. They've won on TC, and they haven't won on Zones, and they just lost on Rainmaker. But they're going to double down on this Rainmaker pick. I think they think we just need a little bit more. If that ending of that game had gone just a little bit differently, if we had just gotten that push a little bit further, if we had just translated our initial 2-down situation into a much bigger push that could have gone differently, and I think they're like, okay, we know Rainmaker, we're just going to scrap it out here. and this gives us our best chance of winning. Manta, though, is kind of an interesting pick, Pat. Like, I wouldn't have immediately bet, yeah, Manta is going to be my counter pick. I think they might be playing for some of the flanks, maybe the sneaky flank on the far side. Maybe they want to put Sharkers up on both of the bunkers. I don't really know what they're going for here, but we'll see pretty quick.
I think it's because it's game 7. all the maps that they want to play Rainmaker on, they were already taken in the previous games, so now they have to go on Manta.
You know, sometimes you gotta scrape the very bottom of the barrel to find that last little bit of morsel of food to eat. And you know, the nice thing about Manta is that I feel like because we don't see it as much on Rainmaker, it kind of becomes a wild card for both of these teams. I don't think we're gonna see any changes. Yep, no changes coming out from the side of Starz the Impact. Let's see what Krillswish goes for. Yep, looks like they're switching with their Sploosh. Although the Splash, that's a new addition, isn't it, Pat?
It is? Is it? I'm not sure. We've seen that splash before.
Yeah, I think we've seen it at least previously. And again, the signature, Krill Switch Instapop comes out, although it only does punish one player here. And unlike the last game, we're not going to see immediate 2-down advantage on the side of Krill Switch, although we do see them kind of pushed up hard here. Meat Boy is trying to do the signature flank, although the Doolies gets punished, and now we see 2-down on the side of Krill Switch instead, and they know where that last player is, Pat.
Ooh, and it's Krill Switch punishing the early pick by Starz Impact. That pick of a Rainmaker felt like a bad idea. You don't want to pick the Rainmaker like that when you're surrounded by Ink.
Oh, man.
That's going to be a push for Krill Switch.
I think there was maybe a little bit of a desperation pickup there, and already Meat Boy coming in. They do get punished, but they break that checkpoint pretty quick with only a minute expired so far in the game. Already the flank is coming out, gets punished, but they're going to go for points here, I think. Yes, they are. If they make this jump, this will be huge. That's already 23 points on the side of Krill Switch, Pat.
Yeah, huge push by Krill Switch right there. Starz Impact, they know what they need to do now. They need to get the pushes, but with a few players down. And wait, the lead was extended, and now there's a crap tech about the Rainmaker. That's very rough for Starz.
We saw this typical Sploosh sneak there as Sploosh was able to eke out just a couple of more points. And, further, more than just eking out a few more points, we saw that little sneak move allow Krill Switch to kind of set up on the opponent's side of the match. They have entire mid control right now. Starz the Impact is basically back in their own street. They need to get a couple of picks here just to get back in the mid, Pat.
Yeah, Krill Switch doing everything they need to do right now, maintaining the numbers advantage as well, and keeping the paint control. The Rainmaker is so well protected. As Starz the Impact is struggling to get in NATO.
Starz the Impact has just not been able to find the picks that they normally do on all the map modes we've seen so far. Every single time we've seen them at least able to punish, and with 2 down again, Meat Boy has at least 3 down now. This might be looking at knockout territory here, Pat. All they have to do is get the Rainmaker up that pedestal, and they stop it at 1 remaining.
We were wondering. We were wondering, why are they going to Manta Maria? That's because they're so cracked on it.
Yeah, I thought to myself, Manta's sort of an unusual pick. Maybe they don't have enough maps left. Maybe they're just trying to catch the opponent off guard. But we saw just complete and total coverage of that map there, Pat. They started the match a little bit down. They actually had a 2-down situation, but they were able to punish Starz the Impact getting a little bit antsy. We saw that early Rainmaker pickup when they were a bit surrounded, and I think that was the one mistake that really cost Starz the Impact, because ever since that situation, Starz the Impact never touched mid again. Krill Switch just used their signature flanks, push forward, grab the Rainmaker, get as far as you can into the enemy's base to great effect there, and finishing out Little Squid League with a knockout. Congrats to Krill Switch for taking a nail-biter Game 7 in Grand Finals of LSL 47.
Yeah, NATO, I feel like the big difference between that game and the last is The first 6 games of this set were on classic map modes that you can be sure that both of these teams have practiced. And in the last one, I feel like we can tell the difference when it's a map mode that you have practiced and the other team hasn't practiced as well.
Yeah, it's sometimes the pocket picks, right? The picks that
Yeah.
nobody really else plays because they're not super meta or no one really likes them, that your team just so happens to be like, hey, maybe we don't love this, or maybe we do love it, and we're just going to practice it, and this is going to be our counter pick when it really matters. My team had one of those back in Splatoon 2. Unfortunately, the map is no longer viable, but we had one of those back in Splatoon 2 where it seemed that once our backs are up against the wall, we just picked, hey, we're going to put Hydra on Wahoo Splat zones, and we're going to catch enough people off guard that we can punish them. And I think Manta Rainmaker is Krill Switch's Wahoo Splat zones, except they just use that to massive advantage there. Although, I will say, huge shout out to Starz Impact, because their backs were up against the wall. They knew they had to win 3 matches in a row, 2 of which were going to be on their opponent's counter pick, and they almost took it back, Pat. So huge credit to them.
Oh yeah, Starz Impact doing a great job, but in the end, having to bow to your new Little Squid League champion. Congratulations to Krill, Switch, and NATO. I believe that means it's time for us to say goodbye.
Yeah, I think so. You want to tell the good folks where they can find you, Pat?
Oh yeah, sure. You can find me at Padjay or Tom. If you put in these underscores in between, you can find me on Twitch. If you remove the underscores, you can find me on Blue Sky. And NATO, where can I find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me at NatoNX on Blue Sky. I've got like 1 post there so far. And same name also on Discord if you want to DM me and talk about Splatoon related things. But yeah, tremendous tournament. And thanks so much everyone for tuning in. Any final thoughts for the crowd, Pat?
Yeah, special shout outs to Wings, a wonderful observer, and everybody that staffs at Little Squid League. They're wonderful people, and it's always a pleasure to be here and watch these awesome finals. Thank you so much for having us.